Okay. Oh my goodness, I have on a filter. Hold on. Let me take the filter off. I don't know how to take it off. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So I'm just trying a different angle. And also I'm using a microphone because the captions keep messing up all my words. So, and I'm going to try to speak more clearly. Okay, so today we're talking about celibacy, and I know a lot of people ask me about that, and I have a lot of experience on celibacy, so I'm perfectly fine to talk about it. I've done it two long times in my life now, but there's also been like short periods throughout, the life as well. But there's two long periods. Well, one was over 13, like 13 and a half years. And the second one was over 7 years, like 7.5 years. So there's two long periods that I was celibate, and people always go, oh my God, how can you do that? And so we're going to talk about like some of the rules that I went by that helped me get through being celibate. I didn't have sex in my 20s at all so I made the decision to be celibate when I was 19. I was already a mom, so I was parenting, but it was important to me not to date anyways because I didn't want to bring people around my daughter. But I know the one thing people say is like, oh, well, you must not like sex and it must be easy for you, and and that's not true. That's not true at all. It's not true at all. That's not true at all. So it was hard for me, probably harder for me than it would be for lots of people, but it was a decision. The one thing that I'm good at is telling my brain what I'm going to allow it to think about, if that makes sense. My brain says, oh, let's think about it. And I'm like, nah, not now. Let's not think about that now. Like, I'll even lie to my brain sometimes and say, hey, let's put it off. I will pick it back up later, and I have every intention to never pick it back up, but hey, whatever works, right? So celibacy, having no sex. The main things, well, not the main, there was lots of things that I did. Well, first made the decision. And two, I just made my life busy. Like I just stayed busy. So I'm saying like get a hobby, or you can go to school, travel, work on your body, all kind of hobbies, dancing, skating, writing, art, just whatever you're good at. Find something that you're allowed to be creative in, because you just really need to release that creative energy that you have. It's just a buildup of energy that you need to release. And if you find some other way of doing it, then it's not going to be as bad. So working out, study something, learn a language. There's so many different things that you can occupy your time with, but you want to just stay busy, and you want to keep your mind occupied and busy so that you can honestly try to forget. Just try to talk yourself into forgetting about it. Like, not now. Okay, well, we will, but not now. Like, we can't do that now. No dating. Like, dating was off limits. I didn't feel like it was smart to date, and knowing that I made a commitment to be celibate. It's like, putting a whole dessert table right in front of you and saying, oh, but you're on a diet. Like, what's the point? So, well, not what's the point, because there's other points, but no, I'm not gonna like tempt myself like that, because that'd be too much. That'd be too much. So I just didn't date throughout that time. I had friends here or there, and but not, and I still, even with them, you have to be careful, because when a guy and a girl are friends, there's still the possibility that somebody wants something more. So you still have to be really careful with that. I prayed. I don't know who you believe in or whatever, but I got real close to God during this time. So, and I was careful not to put myself in situations that, could lead to something like that. So, like if friends are like, oh, let's go out, and okay, that's cool, and then we're drinking, we're hanging out or whatever, but I'm not going to drink too much where I can't remember what I'm doing. I'm going to always keep, pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm not going to be alone in a room with someone. I just being careful, being mindful of what I'm doing and the choices that I'm making, and just careful not to put myself in a situation where, it's too tempting, or I could allow something to happen. So, and I know you're not going to like this one, but no toys. You're like, oh, I could be celibate forever if I use toys. But yeah, you could. But Well, for me, it worked because in order to use a toy, you have to, think about sex. You have to get your mind in the sex place. You have to, or visualize. You have to look at something. You have to get your mind. And so the whole way I was able to get through all that time is to keep my mind off of sex. And so to even get my mind on sex temporarily was a problem, because now I can't get it back off. It's like, dude, I turned it back on. Now my sex thoughts are coming back through my mind. It's like, no, it makes it too hard. So it was easier for me to just turn all the sex thoughts off and just keep them off. Like, just don't turn them back on until I'm ready for them to be on. Because, when they're on, they're on. And so it just makes it harder. So for me, no toys was helpful because I didn't have to, or it didn't give me an opportunity. There was no space to start thinking about sex again and, getting in my head and, just completely get it off. I had no sex thoughts, no sex anything. And so, I mean, that's pretty much it. Those are my tips for being celibate. It's definitely beneficial to your life. And, those are my tips. That's all I got. And we're out here dating smarter, not harder.